When you receive your iMOW and take it out of its packaging, you'll notice that there are several components that come with it. You'll see the mower itself, the docking station, the operating instructions, the pegs, the power supply, and the iMOW ruler. To install the iMOW, you'll require perimeter wire, fixing pins, and wire clips. These are sold separately from the iMOW. These parts can be purchased individually or as part of our installation kits. For small to medium-sized lawns, we recommend Installation Kit S with 150 meters of perimeter wire. For larger lawns, we recommend Installation Kit L, which has 400 meters of perimeter wire. When installing the iMOW, we recommend you wear gloves and safety glasses. You will also need wire cutters, wire strippers, and a hammer or mallet for the installation process. First of all, you should plan the mowing area. Begin by making a sketch of the lawn area that is going to be mown. You should include any fixed objects in the lawn, such as ponds, garden features, large play equipment, or trees. Before installation, you may want to make some small alterations to your garden, such as cutting back overhanging shrubs and making sure the iMOW has a clear path around any borders. Normally, you would leave a gap between the perimeter wire and the edge of the lawn for the iMOW to avoid objects such as fences or walls. Although this does mean you will need to trim the lawn edges yourself. Alternatively, you can lay paving around the edge of the lawn, which means that you can lay a perimeter wire right up to the edging, so no lawn is left uncut. But you must make sure the paving and the lawn are level with each other. Next, indicate the location of where you want to place the iMOW docking station. This should be a spot which is level, ideally shaded, and accessible from a power supply. The power cable is 10 meters long. The docking station will be on the edge of the mowing area. Starting from here, the perimeter wire will be installed around the edge of the lawn. Before the iMOW makes its first cut of your lawn, you should make sure the grass has been mown, ideally to a height of 4 to 5 centimeters. If your lawn is very dry, you could also water the perimeter where you plan to lay the wire before installation, as that will help soften the ground so that it is easier to hammer in the fixing pins. If you have a C model iMOW, you will also need to contact your supplying STIHL dealer to set up your account so you can download and activate the iMOW app before the installation too. We recommend you do this at least a few days before you plan to install the mower. Once you are prepared, you can then start the installation. Our instruction video takes you through all the steps you need to consider. Just search for how to install an iMOW on the STIHL GB YouTube channel or click here to watch it now. The docking station needs to be placed on a spot which is level and on the edge of your mowing area. It should be in an area where it won't create a trip hazard, ideally a shady location that is no more than 10 meters away from a waterproof power source. A 60 centimeter gap should be left free on the right and left hand side of the docking station, or an 88 centimeter gap if placed next to a wall to give iMOW extra space to maneuver. Using the pegs provided with the iMOW, fix the docking station in place. The base of the docking station must lay flat on the ground, and the front of the dock must not be more than 8 centimeters higher or 2 centimeters lower than the back, otherwise the iMOW will not be able to enter or exit the docking station on its own. Next, you need to connect it to the power source. To do this, first take the cover off the docking station and open the panel. Insert the mains adapter plug into the circuit board and lead the cable through the cable routing. It's really important to make sure it's routed correctly. When closing the panel, make sure that no cables are trapped, and then put the cover back on the docking station. The power cable should be laid outside the mowing area. Unroll the cable completely. Make sure the power cable is not coiled up. If you have excess cable, you can lay out the excess wire like this. Now you can plug in the power cable. When the LED lamp on the docking station flashes red, it means it's connected to the mains. Switch on the iMOW by pressing the OK button. The installation assistant will then start on the display screen. Choose your preferred language using the control panel and enter the correct date and time. This is very important as the iMOW needs to know when to carry out its mowing operations at the times you set for it. Then push the iMOW into the docking station so that it begins charging. It will need to have enough battery to travel around the entire perimeter of the lawn during setup. Start by laying the wire at the docking station. Unroll 1.5 metres of wire, as this will need to be threaded through the docking station later. With 1.5 metres of spare wire on the end, fix the perimeter wire from where it leaves the docking station into the ground. Position it at a right angle to the docking station for at least 60 centimetres straight away from the base. Then continue to lay the perimeter wire around the mowing area. The sketch you made when preparing for installation can act as the guide to lay the wire. Lay the perimeter wire measuring the correct distance from the edge of the mowing area. Use the iMOW ruler provided with the machine to measure this correctly. When laying the wire around high obstacles like raised beds or borders, or where the lawn drops away, the distance must be maintained so that the mower can manoeuvre around them. If you want the iMOW to avoid an object such as a tree in the middle of the mowing area, you can create a lollipop shape around the obstacle by running the perimeter wire to the object, around it while still using the measuring ruler, and then back to the perimeter, taking care not to cross the wires. If you lay the wires right next to each other between the perimeter and the object, this cancels the signal out, and the iMOW will be able to freely cross over whilst avoiding the object. Fix the wire at intervals of approximately 1 metre with the fixing pins. Use a mallet or hammer to push them into the ground. At this point, it's worth incorporating some extra perimeter wire for any alterations that may need to be made during the initial installation, or in the future if you have plans to change your garden design. To do this, just double back on yourself and then follow on with your wire install like this by approximately 1 metre. This can be done at a couple of points around the perimeter as you see fit. For smaller mowing areas with a wire length of less than 80 metres, you will also need to install an AKM 100 suppressor. It should be positioned at least 3 metres away from the docking station and connected to the perimeter wire using the supplied connectors. It also needs to be positioned outside the mowing area. Once you have laid the wire around the entire mowing area and are back to the docking station, pin the wire in place. Unroll another 1.5 metres of wire and cut with wire cutters. Inspect the perimeter wire a final time and make sure that it has all been fixed properly in place. Make sure the wire is not pulled too tight, otherwise it can break. It also needs to be properly secured so there are no trip hazards. Next, go back to the iMOW Robotic mower and confirm that you have finished laying the perimeter wire by pressing OK on the installation assistant. Once you have laid all of the perimeter wire, you need to connect it to the docking station and carry out a perimeter check. To do this, first take the iMOW out of the docking station and unplug the power cable. Then, remove the docking station cover and guide the 2 free 1.5 metre ends of the perimeter wire along the wire routing in the base and thread them into the conduit at the docking station. Close the clips and shorten the wire ends to the same length of no less than 40 centimetres. Using a wire stripper, strip the right-hand wire end. This must be connected to the right-hand clip. Twist the wire ends together and connect the stripped wire. You can place your wire strippers on the side where you stripped the first wire, so you then know that you have to connect the wire end on this side. Now you can strip the second wire and connect it too. Put the cover back on the docking station and reconnect it to the mains. If the LED on the dock lights up continuously, then the wire has been correctly connected to the docking station. Refer to the instruction manual if it is not lighting up continuously. The robotic lawnmower and docking station now need to be paired. To do this, place the iMOW back into the docking station and then confirm by pressing OK on the Installation Assistant. The Installation Assistant will check that it has received the wire signal. This can take up to several minutes for the check to be complete. If the message "Wire signal OK" appears, then the signal has been successfully received. The iMOW and docking station have now been successfully paired together. Press the OK button on the iMOW and close the lid. The iMOW will now start to drive around the edge of the perimeter wire as long as the iMOW has enough charge. It will not leave the dock if there is not enough battery power, so you'll need to give it time to charge and check back later. The robotic mower will now define its mowing area. It is also the time to check whether the distance to obstacles and the edge of the mowing area is correct. You should walk alongside the iMOW as it manoeuvres around the entire edge of the lawn and check that it is able to move without difficulty. It should also drive into the docking station without assistance. After docking at its station, the iMOW will drive around the edges again in the opposite direction. To start this procedure, press OK on the iMOW and close the lid. If after this the iMOW is again able to dock successfully at the station without any issues, then the perimeter wire has been laid and connected to the robotic mower correctly. If there are any changes required, for example if the iMOW wheels are dropping into a flower bed or the iMOW hits an obstacle, simply unpeg and move the perimeter wire. Now you need to set up the mowing plan. The iMOW is able to automatically calculate its mowing plan as long as you provide it with the necessary information during installation. Start by entering the approximate size of your lawn in square meters and confirm this by pressing OK. The iMOW will then calculate the daily active times required to mow and will draw up a mowing plan. You can then agree to the active times the iMOW suggests by pressing OK, or you can adjust the active times to suit your own personal schedule. You can change these active times by selecting the day you want to change and adjusting the time. Once the active times have been defined, confirm the final mowing plan with the robotic mower by pressing OK. Your mowing plan should consider the movements of people in the garden and also take account of wildlife and pets. People and animals should not be present on the lawn when the iMOW is active. If you want to change the active times after the initial setup, this can be done in the main menu of the iMOW. You can also turn off automatic mowing in the future if you need it to stop mowing for any reason, for example if you are having work done in the garden or having other visitors in your garden. Before sending the iMOW out to mow, make sure that the lawn has been cleared of objects such as fallen fruit from trees or balls, and that there are no people, animals or pets in the area. The iMOW will be able to detect fixed obstacles in the garden and move around them, so don't worry about removing larger objects such as garden tables or chairs. At the next scheduled active time, the robotic mower will automatically leave the docking station and it will start its first mowing operation. The standard mowing plan is set as the default, so if you want to take advantage of the dynamic mowing plan, you will need to activate that in the settings. The dynamic mowing plan includes buffer times as well as mowing and charging operations. If the rain sensor is activated on the iMOW, it will stop mowing when it starts to rain and will return to its docking station. When the rain stops, it will automatically resume mowing the lawn. If it rains through the entire active time, the dynamic mowing plan allows iMOW to make up for lost time on a different day. For example, if it rains on a Monday, then it may make up the time on the Tuesday instead. Don't forget, if you have a C model, you can also control the mowing plan via the iMOW app. Just make sure you've contacted your supplying STIHL Approved dealer to set it up. At this point, you may want to adjust the rain sensor. It can be activated and adjusted under Settings on the iMOW main menu. Use the control panel to increase the iMOW's sensitivity to the rain. Depending on the level of sensitivity chosen, the iMOW will only mow if conditions are almost or completely dry. This stops the iMOW from getting dirty and protects the roots of your lawn. We recommend using this feature and setting it so that the iMOW operates in mostly dry conditions. Of course, this is completely climate dependent, so you can adjust the sensitivity as you wish. In the first few weeks of the robotic mower's operation, you need to set the cutting height to level 5. This is because the perimeter wire will need to first grow into the lawn. If a lower cutting height is selected, it can cause damage to the perimeter wire. When the weather is hot and dry, you should also select the highest cutting height on the iMow, so that the ground doesn't dry out so fast and the lawn doesn't burn from the heat. All iMow robotic lawnmowers have theft protection thanks to a built-in alarm and a PIN code. When you first install the iMow, its security level is set to none by default. You can change the security level in the iMow security settings and set its level as either low, medium or high, depending on your preference. For details on individual security levels, please refer to the iMow manual. After you have set the security level, you can also assign an individual PIN code to the iMow in the robotic mower's security settings. This PIN code is a unique 4-digit code which should be regularly changed to increase security. If someone picks up the robotic mower, an alarm will sound after 1 minute, which can only be switched off by entering the PIN code. iMow C models also have a built-in GPS receiver. If the GPS protection feature is activated, when the iMow is removed from the mowing area, you'll receive a message on the iMow app that it has left its home area. This feature can be activated on the iMow app or on the iMow itself. It can only be changed in the settings on the iMow.